Kevin Kamps is with us. He is the nuclear waste watchdog at Beyond Nuclear, beyondnuclear.org. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Tom.
We just had a fellow from the Breakthrough Institute telling us how wonderful nuclear power was. Actually, he was trying to. We kind of got sidetracked on carbon taxes and my being crazy. But in any case, I understand that, the guy who is sort of the original hero of Fukushima, who stayed and tried to keep the plant from melting down, just died of cancer. And B, that some of the nuclear watchdogs in the Fukushima area in Japan are saying that there's just a naked leak of radiation into the ocean. Take your choice, whichever one you want to talk about first.
Well, Yoshida, he did defy Tokyo Electric when they told him to stop cooling the melting down reactors with salt water because they wanted to preserve them for future commercial use, which was insane. They were so in denial. And he disregarded their orders, and he cooled as best he could the reactors with salt water. Unfortunately, he could not stop them from melting down. And, the devil's in the details as to how much radioactivity has gotten out. But that's the latest news that you're saying that's breaking is that, it looks like the New York Times reported just today, based on the Nuclear Regulatory Authority's chief spokesperson, that the leaks have been going on for 2 years into the ocean from Fukushima.
Yikes.
And they have surged recently in the last days and weeks to much higher levels, something like 100 times the level of cesium and strontium and tritium that's been previously seen in the groundwater near the seaside and even in the ocean itself, just offshore.
Wow.
So he admitted they don't know where the leak is occurring. They don't know how to stop it.
So, and cesium does what to the human body?
Cesium is a muscle seeker, and it has caused, for example, in Ukraine and Belarus and Russia, a condition called Chernobyl heart, even in children, which is holes in the heart congenitally.
Okay, and strontium does what to human beings?
Strontium is a bone seeker that causes various bone maladies, including in the bone marrow.
Including bone cancer and leukemia?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was the third element you said?
Tritium, which is radioactive hydrogen, which is also a clinically proven cause of cancer and birth defects and genetic damage.
And this stuff is just literally pouring out of Fukushima right now as we speak.
They have like 100 tons or more of leakage into the basement levels of water, groundwater, on a regular basis, and that's where it's picking up its contamination and then leaking apparently into the ocean after that.
And that's the same Pacific Ocean that ends up from Oregon all the way down to Southern California on our side of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, and ocean currents, even certain forms of seafood like tuna actually bring it over here pretty quickly because they're actually swimming, migrating. So, it's the bioaccumulation in the food chain that we really need to worry about. Some people might try to dismiss this as not important because the ocean is so big, the radioactivity will dilute. But the bioaccumulation is what reverses that process, and we sit at the top of the food chain.
Right. Now, I know, some time back we talked, and you were telling me about efforts, volunteer groups who are putting together monitoring stations, both for air and water, but also looking for things like cesium in the fish. What's the status of that?
Well, the Fukushima Fallout Awareness Network is one of the great coalitions happening in North America, and they're really urging the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to take this issue seriously, to put official federal monitoring at a much higher alert level on the food that's coming from the ocean, that's even being imported from Japan, because our regulations are much weaker than Japan's. Japan allows for 100 becquerels per kilogram of radioactive cesium in food. Beyond that, it's considered unfit for human consumption. Incredibly, in the U.S., the standard is 1,200 becquerels per kilogram. So we easily could be importing Japanese contaminated food into the United States.
Whoa. And is this Japanese contaminated food that is too radioactive for Japan, so they're exporting it? You're talking about seafood?
All food. Even crops that are being grown, not just in Fukushima Prefecture, but in adjacent prefectures.
Things like rice?
Yes, you name it. I mean, I've checked the International Atomic Energy Agency website from time to time to see the list grow of the various foods that are being contaminated in Japan and at certain different levels.
Now, this is this is what could be and what the levels are, what is actually being measured? You have, hey, this group of 15 people in Portland, Oregon just discovered, in this restaurant, salmon that kicks a Geiger counter at this point. Is there anything like that?
I think it's still in the initial stages to try to set up those kind of systems. I mean, it's even been forced on the people of Japan to do their own food analysis because their government, which is in bed with the nuclear industry, isn't doing anywhere near an adequate job. So, for example, there's a family in in Osaka, that has set up its own food monitoring system. They paid something like $10,000 or $15,000 to acquire it from Ukraine, of all places, who has to deal with the aftermath of Chernobyl. And they are checking the food not only for their own children, but for their children's schoolmates. And so they've set up kind of a single elementary school guarding its own children's food supply.
And what are they finding?
Well, I haven't heard recently, but they are on guard against their children eating any contaminated food above a certain level.
Yeah, amazing. And that above the certain level, that's where the devil's in the details, because there is no safe level of radiation.
That's right. Artificial radioactivity is harmful. Very for risk of cancer.
Period. No nukes. BeyondNuclear.org is the website. Kevin Kamps, the Nuclear Waste Watchdog. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Always great talking to you. If you want more information, get over to BeyondNuclear.org. We'll be right back.